independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100-plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100-plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500-plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100-plus authorized training partners and 50-plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry-level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000-plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development Council, your gateway to digital transformation. We are an independent, vendor-neutral ISO IEC 1024 accredited certification body committed to helping individuals and organizations stay future-ready in a rapidly evolving world. GSDC is accredited by the Accreditation Board for International Certification Bodies, ABICB. For 10 years, we've certified more than 100,000 professionals across Europe, North America, Asia, and Africa, with our offices in Switzerland, the United States, and Singapore. Our programs are recognized by leading publications and podcasts, including Forbes, Tech Target, People Managing People. We offer 100 plus globally accredited certifications across emerging and in-demand domains like generative AI and emerging technologies, HR and learning and development, project management and agile Scrum, ISO and quality management, information security. Each GSDC certification is designed to empower professionals with confidence and help organizations stay competitive in a fast-changing landscape. Every certification is crafted with insights from 100 plus global advisory board members representing top universities and leading industry experts. Our certified professionals are trusted by 500 plus multinational companies, which help unlock better roles, faster promotions, and delivering cutting-edge expertise. We partner with 100 plus authorized training partners and 50 plus universities, supporting talent across all career levels, from entry level to executive leadership. As a GSDC member, you gain lifelong access to interactive webinars, hands-on workshops, SME panels, and global summits. Join a vibrant community of 25,000 plus members and be part of our global events. Check our reviews on Trustpilot. We're trusted worldwide for quality, support, and impact. Whether you're aiming higher or building tomorrow's talent, GSDC is your partner in purposeful growth and impactful leadership. Visit our website to explore our offerings. GSDC, share the best practices and learn from the best practices. Welcome to the Global Skill Development.
Hello everyone, we'll be starting the session shortly. Just allow me to share my screen. Here we go. I hope my screen is visible to you all. Thank you very much for joining, and I welcome you everybody to Global Skill Development Council's GSDC Certified Learning, Mastering Scalable and Resilient System, with the theme that is driving reliability and scalability with SRE best practices. My name is Preetham. I'm going to be your host for this session. If you need any assistance during the session, please do let me know over the chat box so I can assist you all. So yes, we have this amazing panel of experts who will be aligned for this entire webinar series, which is happening from 1st September to 12th September 2025. With the time slot that is 8:30 a.m. CST, 9:30 p.m. Singapore time. So please do join us for the remaining sessions as well. And today we'll be having Rod Anami. He's a SRE coach at Kindriel, and he'll be presenting the topic that is balancing reliability and feature development in SRE. So before I could hand over the session to him, I would like to introduce our organization, GSDC. We known as Global Skill Development Council. We're vendor agnostic, vendor neutral. We are globally recognized certification body, and we are accredited by NSI and ABICB. We have 100 plus certification portfolio with us, and we have certified 250,000 professionals, and also we have 500 SMEs. Those are subject matter expert industry experts. They're affiliates from top universities like Harvard, Stanford, MIT. They work with us closely to design our deliverables, and we are associated with 1000 multinational corporates and 500 fortune companies and 50 plus universities across the globe. I'm very proud to inform you all that we have a 100 plus authorized training partner across the globe. We have partner in Asia, Africa, Canada, America, many countries. So would love to thank you those who have joined us through our training partner channel. If you're looking for any training program for yourself, to upskill yourself, you can reach out to our training partner. I'll be sharing the link in the chat box so you can check it out. Also, special thanks to our official media partner, World Press Hub, for covering all our events and press releases. As I mentioned earlier in the previous slide, that we do have 100 plus certification portfolio. So our current certification portfolio holds certification on generative AI, agentic AI, learning and development professionals, certified instructional designer, HR professionals, PMO related certification, ISO related certification, generative AI in cybersecurity, risk and compliance, project management, and so on. So if you're looking for any of this certification to upskill yourself, you can reach out to a learning advisor to get more information, or you can explore our website, that is www.gsdcouncil.org, to get more details and check all the offers that GSDC has for all of you. Also, if you get certification through GSDC, that will give you lifelong membership. Along with that, you'll be getting certificate upgrade, and you'll be having access to all our events, workshop, and boot camps. And guess what? You'll be having access to all our exclusive learning programs that we do offer. Also, you'll be getting implementation resources, speaker invites, and newsletter. Isn't it great? So do grab this opportunity and sign up yourself for this amazing certification program. So without any further delay, I would love to tell you all more about our today's speaker, Rod. So he's a seasoned cloud infrastructure and software engineering expert specializing in site reliability engineering as an SRE coach at Kyndryl Center of Excellence. He leads global SRE initiatives, helping clients with IT transformation and automation. Rod is the global SRE profession leader at Kyndryl, certified in SRE, DevOps, AWS, Azure, HashiCorp, and Kubernetes. A passionate open source contributor, he co-developed Node.js libraries, co-authored Becoming a Rockstar SRE, and created the SRE Manifesto website. So we are absolutely delighted to have him with us today for the session. Thank you very much, Rod, for joining, and the virtual speaker is over to you now. Thank you.
Thank you, Pritam. Thanks for having me. So let me try to share my screen. Hopefully it is working. Can you confirm you can see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, great. So like Pritam said, I'm going to talk about balancing reliability and feature development in SRE context. And this is part of Mastering SRE for Scalable and Resilient Systems track. So that's about this conversation. So let's go. So first of all, like Pinta said, I'm located in Brazil. I'm a father with one son, and I like to cook. I think cooking is very similar to coding. You need to be creative. Also, I'm part of Kyndryl. I'm a professional leader at Kyndryl. I have co-wrote this book, Become a Rockstar SRE. I'm also part of the SRE Manifesto website. So if you are interested in signing the SRE Manifesto, there will be a link at the end. And also, I'm one of the creators of the SRE Terminals group on LinkedIn. So if you're interested to connect with the large SRE community, there is a group on LinkedIn. There is a disclaimer here, so my opinions are my own, not necessarily the Kyndryl's opinion during this event. Okay, so let's go to the good stuff for today. So basically, I want to talk about the problem. So as a good SRE, we need to define the problem, why this is happening, why we need to balance reliability and new features deployment, why this is generate a conflict, right? And who is conflict with whom. Then I'm going to talk about three possible solutions. The first one is a broken solution, and this is, of course, related to storming. When we are forming a new team, this is the storming phase. Then a band-aid solution, meaning this is a good solution, but temporary. Of course, there are drawbacks on the solution. And usually this is related to norming when we are trying to resolve conflicts and create ground rules and social contracts. And then finally, I'm going to talk about the elegant solution, performing when we really are performing with efficiency and effectiveness. And then I'm just put here at the end, further information section. Okay, so this is the agenda for today. This is the conversation about balancing reliability, stability, and new features development, deployment. Okay, so let's go to the first topic and let's talk about the problem, right? The white elephant that we have in the room. And of course, the problem is caused by distinct incentives and goals. And this picture generated by Gemini tells a lot, right? So basically, we have two paths here, two roads ahead of us, right? One is stability, which is calm, which is tranquil, which is stable, right? But we also need new functionalities, new features, we new revenue generation. And of course, if we want to progress on that, so that means we are going to face chaos, sometimes incidents, problems, bugs, complexity. Because they are two distinct roads, that's why we have this problem. So let's talk about that. So first of all, let me put this graph here, right? You can see on this graph now, we have system stability on the y-axis. Or system or solution behaves like this, right? It starts with a certain level of stability. And you can think about stability as availability, for instance. Of course, stability is more than that, but just to simplify the picture here, let's think stability as availability of a system or website or application. And we have a certain value. We start at this certain value, and we start to get the website, the application, the mobile app, fix it. We fix the bugs, we fix the problems. Then, of course, we increase the stability. But then we have a new release and new features, right? New functionalities. And guess what? We start getting incidents. We start getting outages, problems, bugs, right? And these, of course, will decrease the stability. And this is more or less a cycle. And this every time we have a new release, the stability goes down. And the only moment we have a fixed value on the stability is when we have a change freeze. So basically, what we are saying is every time we release a new application version with new features that have been developed and deployed, then yes, we are going to have incidents, instability, bugs, complexity, and this is more or less our lives as SREs, right? This is what happens on a daily basis, and yes, this is an infinite cycle. Okay, so let's agree that this is what we see on the ground, right? What we see for most of the systems, applications, mobile apps, and solutions. Okay, so what is the correlation about stability in new features then? And if we plot this correlation, here is we are not talking about the over time, but this is really the correlation between system stability and when we have new features. We can agree that the more features we deploy, the less is the stability or the reliability of the system, solution, or app. So usually we have logarithmic curve here, and that decays over time. Sorry, when the new features are higher. So the more features we deploy, the less stability we have. So this is the correlation. More features, less stability, and less reliable. Because if your system is not stable, if your solution is not stable, then it's not reliable, right? The users will not trust your system, your solution, because every time they see an outage or something that is broken or is not working, So this is the correlation. And that explains the problem, right? There is a clear correlation between stability and new features or new functionalities. Okay, so the problem is really not balance system reliability or stability, if you really want to simplify, and new features development. But in sense, this balancing is about money, right? If we put this on a scale, you're going to have revenue on the left side. So what comes as entry, and operational costs, right? What we spend in order to maintain the systems, solutions, mobile apps, you name it. And this is a balance here, right? And when we think about revenue generation, yes, new features. If you don't release, if you don't launch new features, you want to get new revenue generation, right? Because new features can be translated to new businesses or new transactions or new ways of engaging your end user and sell something or a service, right? But on the same side here, if you have instability, you're going to get revenue loss. Yes, because if your system solution or mobile app is not reliable, if the user doesn't trust this solution, then yes, I'm going to your competitor. I'm going to use another solution or not intrinsically relate to revenue generation, revenue loss. And on the operational cost side, pretty same, right? New features means that you're going to increase your operational cost, right? If you have new features, you need more capacity, you need usually more people to support unless you have SRE in place, but typically this will increase your operational cost. And the same is true if you have reliability SRE implemented and deployed to your shop, then you're going to have operational cost improvement. Scalability is one of the outcome of SRE. Okay, so in sense, what we are trying to do here today is to balance revenue and operational cost, which is, in technical terms, system reliability and new features development. I hope I convinced you about it. And what are the drivers or the forces behind new features and stability? Of course, when we talk about new features, the first thing that comes to our mind is pipeline, CI/CD, right? Deployments, packages, right? New features that has been promoted to production. And the most important person here is the DevOps engineer. On the other side of this equation, we have stability. And when we talk about stability, we are talking about reliability, and that brings us the SRE role. And naturally, if we don't do anything about that, there will be a conflict here. Because SREs are measured about stability, reliability, reliable systems, and DevOps engineers, they are measured about deployment frequency, time to change, right? Dollar metrics. So if we don't do anything about, there will be natural clash here, right? Or even crash, right? That's how Gemini pictured that. So yes, we have a problem and we need to resolve this problem. So let's talk about this conflict, right? DevOps versus SRE. Who will win, right? Of course, this is a provocative question. We don't want really to create a fight between two amazing movements or models, if you prefer. And you can see this Gemini generated picture. You can see they are very similar, right? Those engineers are very similar, and that's on purpose because they share common skills and common practices, right? So we need to fight for stability versus new features. And first of all, you may ask, well, but what is the difference, right, between SRE and DevOps engineer? And I just put this picture here to explain a little bit about that. So you can see I have the most famous three roles nowadays, right? So everybody talks about DevOps engineering, site reliability engineering, and now platform engineering. Of course, we have other names, but if you do narrow research, those would be um, the most famous or the most known names or roles, personas, if you like. And they are, they have very common things. You can see there is a layer here that is common to all those three personas. But today I'm not going to talk about platform engineering. I'll leave this for other lecture or webinar. But let's talk about these two, right? So DevOps engineer, they concentrate their efforts on continuous integration to continuous delivery of software code. And they are very concerned about software development lifecycle. While the SRE is responsible for incidents, right? So yes, we need to be concerned about incident management, problem management, change management, because we want to keep those systems up and running 24/7. And observability is something that helps us to understand what's happening inside the systems and solutions by inspecting the outputs of the signals from the system through the monitoring platform. We also we are very driven through indicators, objectives, and agreements. So we have those things defined and measured, so we know if we are doing good or bad. We are worried about systems engineering, so we always think about systems, not just single components, but how those components work together to synthesize a behavior, right? We do postmortems, like I said. This is problem management. And case engineering is the ultimate system tests, right? Is when I test something in production and try to uncover the weak links on my workflow or transaction. Yeah, and you can see they have common things, right? Common themes and competencies, all those three personas. So yes, although they are different in a sense, they share something in common, right? So automation is a common theme for DevOps engineering and site reliability engineering. Communication collaboration, of course, this is common for all professions. Infrastructure management, they need to touch that. Um, for example, DevOps engineer, when you build it, you need to run it, right? You're responsible for running the system. Metrics and measurements are important because if you don't have it, then you don't know if you're going to the right direction or which direction you're taking, right? Security compliance permeates everything. If a system is not secure, then it's not reliable, right? I cannot trust a system or solution or application that is not safe and secure. Software development engineering, yes, we need to develop all those personas, develop code, they implement code, and they understand the basic techniques, at least from the software engineering world. And systems architecture, we need to understand how systems work with so many components interacting with each other. Entire reduction is we don't like manual repetitive tasks, right? We don't like, no one here likes doing the same thing every day. And we usually use a script and automation to resolve those things. So they are different, but they have common themes, competencies, skills, and practices. Okay, so there is a light at the end of the tunnel. So let's talk about more about this common ground, right? Like you said, the conflict and distrust here was caused by different backgrounds, skills, and incentives. So on the left side, we have the development team basically formed with developers, and on the operational side, we have system administrators, right? Those folks here, they like to, of course, develop new features and functions and provide new functionalities on their solutions or mobile apps. They are, of course, thirst for new features. And this is about velocity and productivity, right? And on the right side of this equation, we have focus on stability, like we said. Here, we are concerned about performance, reliability, and correctness, right? Maybe the data correctness is the key here. And you can see, the mottos, the famous quotes from each profession here, and we need to meet in the middle, right? In the middle is the common ground, and you can see DevOps is going from development to operations, so this is shift right because they are trying to meet the operation side in the middle, and SREs are coming from systems administration and focus on stability and going to the development process. So we call that shift left. But DevOps engineers and SREs, site reliability engineers, they are engineers. And that is the common ground. So they need to have not just common skills, but also incentives. And that's part of the solution. And we have plenty of practices that help us to minimize or mitigate this conflict, this distrust between development and operations. So yes, we have a common ground, and we have practices to help us. We are going to talk about this first one today, operational readiness review, but we also have the service level, not just objectives, but indicators, agreements, inner error, but that we are going also to touch today. Okay. So let's think about when we have those two personas, how we put them to work together, right? And when you're creating a new team, the first thing you need to think about is the Turkmen model, right? And the Turkmen model talks about at least 5 stages. So usually when you're creating a new team, you're building a new team, it starts with forming, right? You're put those people together, give them a mission, give them training them on certain skills, and give them certain goals. And then you go to storming. This is where they are working together, of course, because they are different persons and they are with different backgrounds. Maybe they are from external vendors, or they just have hired as a new hiree. And of course, it's common to have conflicts and disagreements. It's total expected here. And then they start trying to resolve those conflicts. And we call this norming because they are creating rules, ground rules, contracts, social contracts, right? And they start to honor those agreements. So this is norming. But the next phase is what interests us, right? Because now we want to work in efficiency matter and very effective in terms of results. So this is performing. There's one more stage here is adjourning, is when we are terminating or ending the team. But this is not the case. This is a continuous team. You don't need to, of course, get rid of everybody. So forming, right? So usually you can see I highlighted this is DevOps common, sorry, it's not putting those two models together, but usually the DevOps is formed on the development team, and the SRE is formed on the operational side. So this is the reason I put comma here, because this is what we usually see on the market is, yes, I have my DevOps team, you have the SRE team, and they have different directors, different leadership, and they usually align the DevOps engineers to development. They are, CI/CD pipelines focused. This is the gravity center, and of course they follow the DORA metrics, DevOps research metrics. We are going to talk about those metrics. While the SREs, they align to operations. So why is that? Because I want SREs to increase the reliability of the systems, so they are more reliable, meaning they have performance, scalability, availability, they have low latency, everything else. And of course, they are the gravity center here is the system reliability. How I'm making our system reliable by making all the components reliable. And they are measured differently from the DevOps engineers, because now we are talking about service level objectives here and MTTX. So MTTX here is mean time to repair, mean time to detect, mean time between failure. So there are many MTTX metrics here. But again, this is farming, and usually what we see is DevOps, SRE. So when you start putting those two personas, two teams together, of course, we go to Stormy, and it's DevOps against SRE. So usually the DevOps view is, oh, SRE, the SREs are slowing down my new features deployment, because they are asking, why this is not under monitoring, why they don't have, the run books or the standard operational procedures, or why this is not documented pretty well. They are asking, if you have tested my application before putting on production. So the SREs will ask a lot of questions here, because they don't want new features by design, right? Because this will create instability and decrease the reliability index, of course. And the SRE view about DevOps is DevOps makes the systems unstable and unreliable, right? Because they are just deploying new features all the time, every day, and they don't care if the system breaks or has an outage. So that's how we start this conversation. And the two teams, they are not working together, but actually is one against another. And then when we improve here, we go to the norm phase or stage, and DevOps works with SRE. So they start trying to create a conflict resolution, some mechanism to integrate DevOps and SRE. And usually they have a common contract. Okay, so they need to have a contract where we have the rules and the norms, and they start honor that agreed upon contract to the letter, right? So this is how we are going to function. This is how we are going to work together. This is your responsibility. This is mine. This is our shared goals, and of course, this becomes much easier as they mature as a team. Okay, and finally, when we go to the performing stage, then those two shops, two sides of the same coin, are fully integrated, right? Because they have an outcome interface, they have KPIs and goals. I'm calling this harmonized, because they share a few goals, but they also have their own goals. But the other side is also responsible. One is accountable and one is responsible. So this is where we are going to get if we progress on this Turkmen model. And hopefully you can jump to the next stage without being stuck on Stormy, for example. Okay, so that's where we want to go, and but keep in mind, this is natural, this is human nature, so expect that this is how this will progress, right? Those are the 4 stages, and we need to go through each of them. Okay, there's no escape here. So let me talk about the solutions, right? And the first one is the broken solution. Is probably it's an anti-pattern, definitely not a recommendation, not a best practice. And you can see the picture generated by Gemini here. Basically, the bridge is broken, right? The dev is separated from ops, and you can see the lightning is here on ops because yes, if we have instability, then the storm is here, the lightning is here, right? Because we are having production problems, and that means outages, bugs on production. And this is the broke solution, right? So, but it's important that we understand what doesn't work, right? It's pretty important that we don't say yes, there is a silver bullet that works on everything. Okay, so what is this broken solution? And unfortunately, I have seen this a lot, right? So basically, you have a cab as an interface between the dev and ops. So you see, we have DevOps engineers taking care of the CI/CD pipelines, and when a new package is ready for production, it goes to the CAB, right? The change management CAB, which is a change advisory board, and this board will review the change request, ensuring it is complete and follows the process. And then, if approved, then this will be deployed in production. And then the SREs are responsible for taking care of this new package or this new version. And of course, this is something that is not recommended. The first problem you can see on this picture is that the change owner is the judge and negotiator. And typically, the change owner doesn't have enough knowledge about DevOps and SRE, right? So typically, this person here will not be able to say, yes, this is a good change request, this is a good package. You have done your homework, you did unit testing with a coverage of more than 65%, you did integration test, you even did a regression test to ensure all the previous features are working. So usually, and typically, this person is more process focused, and doesn't matter if the package is well built, well developed or not. When it's deployed on the operations, yes, we are going to have an outage. Although SREs can minimize that by applying deployment strategy like blue green, A/B test, or canary release. Of course, there will be bugs, maybe bugs that you cannot capture in the first week. Maybe only on a peak load you're going to see, or the user worse, right? The user will feel that bug, right? And that's not a good solution. This is a broken solution. Although we see these are a lot around. And what is the drawback here, right? Why this solution doesn't work? Because the CAB, and sometimes we have the pre-CAB or the technical chain review, they don't check those things down here. They will check if the change request is complete, all the fields are filled out, the quality is good, and the pre-CAB, if you have a pre-CAB or TCR, technical change review, they will check the implementation plan or the validation plan or the rolling back plan, right? They don't look at if you have the architectural documentation in place, right? which design patterns have been applied here. Do we have circuit breakers, throttlers? So which design patterns we have in place to minimize the impact for users when there is a peak or DDoS attack? So cab or pre-cab checks that? No, they don't. If your pre-cab or cab checks these, then it's not a cab. It's more than a cab. Another thing, user journeys. Do we know how the end users interact with the systems? Which components are involved? If you don't know that, then it would be very hard to maintain this system in production. Do we know the dependency mapping? There is any dependency on other system subcomponents, external services, like does my application depend on AWS S3 bucket, for instance? If I don't know that, if I have a problem with AWS S3 bucket, then it will be a big surprise, and it take a lot of time to resolve this problem because I didn't know S3 bucket was involved on the picture. And nowadays, for security reasons, we need to know the software bill of materials, right? If you don't know which open source is involved in your package and which versions, then maybe there is a big, high vulnerability inside your application package. And there is a documented attack vector for that, right? So this is very important to maybe for most of us. Software bill of materials is something I need to understand, so we can deploy this in production without big risk or high level risk. Also, did you use all the development building in test standards? What are the results? Because it's very simple when a developer says, yes, I have tested on my machine. Okay, but your machine is not a production system, right? It's totally different, right? And it doesn't make sense. So what are the results of your testing? What is the coverage? The test coverage is how many lines of code have you been tested? What is the minimum, right? So this is very key if we want to minimize the impact on production, right? If you don't do a good development building and testing, then most likely this application version or its application package will be deployed and cause incidents, outage, instability, right? Low performance, user complaints because something is not working. How about operational documentation? Do we know the topologies of this application? Do we know the component diagrams? What are the known errors, right? Many times this is forgotten. Right? Okay, I know if the user does this operation, this transaction, and if the user doesn't click on this button, after 2 seconds, this will cause an error. This is a known error. This will be fixed, I don't know, within 3 months. But be aware that if the customer complains, the end user complains about that, it's just a question to instruct the end user to do this in a different way. If you don't know that, if you don't have this information, then SREs will try to investigate, try to resolve these incidents, and spend a lot of time on that. What else is not checked by pre-cab and cab? Service levels, right? Which golden signals are important for these applications? Latency, error rate, saturation, or maybe just availability is key critical for this application. Or the traffic is also important because we want to know how many sales we are doing per hour, something like that. Or what are the visibility monitoring requirements? Meaning okay, what do I need to monitor? Which kind of logs I need to capture from which components? Do I need to capture the traces? For what are the critical transactions that I need to capture the tracing, so I can pinpoint what is happening on the browser or mobile app level. So that's a drawback about this broken solution. There is no way to tell if this application was well developed, well built, or tested, right? So that's the reason. Simply use CAD and change management as an interface between dev and ops will not work. Okay, so I gave you the broken solution. So let me give you now the band-aid solution. I'm not saying this is bad solution, but you should see it as a temporary solution, right? And usually this is related to norming. So this is the phase or stage, if you recall, where we are trying to resolve the conflicts by having a common ground rules and contract clause, so we can work together, follow those rules, right? But this solution by any means is scalable. So that's the problem with this solution. And you can see here this picture, we have a managed bridge, right? There is a kind of bridge here. Of course, I can crosswalk this bridge now, but guess what? If a car tries to pass over this band-aid, right, it will crash down on the cliff. But it's not a permanent, so it's not scalable. It's not for heavy loads, right? But it is a good solution, to say the least. So what happens now? So what we have now is a contract between dev and ops, and this is called operational readiness review. So this is a review. Actually, this is a questionnaire, and what we want to do here is just ensure we have the risk assessed, right? So by making some questions to the development team or the DevOps engineer, we can calculate the risk of this new feature or package or application version. And now we are aware of the risk, right? The risk, if the risk is high, then I can put more serious working on that problem or that release, right? Better saying, if something goes down, or if we have an outage or a problem, we know because this was a high risk version or package or feature, and we can work with the DevOps engineers to resolve, right? And everybody's aware and everybody agreed, because if we accept that risk, then we're going to work together in production. So if it eases our mind that yes, we are going to have a problem, but let's put more people, let's put DevOps engineers on standby so they can help us when this problem comes. Okay? So now we have a contract and interface. And because the knowledge is embedded on those questions, on this questionnaire, this OR only doesn't need to be a DevOps specialist or SRE specialist. Okay? So this is a better solution. And this can work as a process hub as well. So give you more details on this. Imagine we have a new application package. This can be coming from a CI/CD pipeline or a traditional build and deployment platform. Anyways, you're going to have an application package. And the idea here is the first thing you need to check is the change size. This is a new application. This is a new version, or this is just a new feature or bug fix. And then you can apply a compatible or suitable, better say, suitable questionnaire You can have a base questionnaire when it's just a new feature. The application is already deployed in production. It's just bug fix, a correction, or maybe a new feature, a new functionality. So you don't need to make lots of questions. You already understand the application, the dependencies, and this is just more a new feature. Then you can apply a base questionnaire with fewer questions. But if it is a new version, a new release, then you need to apply a full questionnaire so you can calculate better the risk. And if it is a totally new and unprecedented application, never been deployed in production, then we need to use a advanced ORR, operational readiness review questionnaire. And no, these, of course, will have plenty of questions, right? Because we want to understand the development process, the build process, the testing process, the architecture, the standard operating procedures, everything we want to understand and have at our hands before we deploy this in production, right? And this is a process hub because this is not a fixed number of questions, or you can change the questions on the number of questions with two possible ways. One is when you have a problem, meaning when you have incidents and a problem is raised, and during the RCA, the postmortem, you detect that, oh, this is something that we didn't capture on the ORR questionnaire, then those defects would be new questions for the questionnaire. So next time we capture that, right? Next time we consider that aspect, and then yes, we are now more prepared for the production deployment. Or you have your DevOps, SRE, and software engineering modules, and this is what will feed those questions primarily, right? Okay. And after the questionnaire is answered, you have an artifact, and this will be the authorization for a change request. Yes, the change request for this production deployment has an answered questionnaire and the risk level calculated, and everybody agrees with the risk level. And then, yes, the change request is authorized based on this questionnaire, this filled out questionnaire. And of course, the questionnaire function is to measure this risk level. It can be a high risk, and if it's a high risk, we need executive approval. That's one possibility here. Maybe it's so high that I need to get approval from an executive, and the reason for that is because sometimes it's better to have an unstable system but beat your competitor than maintain the stability and lose for your competitor. So this is a business decision, not a technical decision. But the most important thing is DevOps engineers and SREs, they agree this is a high risk deployment in production, and it's important that our executive is aware of that, and that probably we need people on standby, on call rotation to act when we have a problem. Okay, if it is a medium risk, then we just validate the answers and say yes, this will follow the business as usual workflow. Or if it is low risk, then we just accept. We don't want to even spend any minutes here because it's a low risk. Why bother with that, right? So this is why the operational readiness review can be a process hub, because it interfaces with the problem change management in your development process. Okay, so very interesting. Besides the deployment process itself. So how we mitigate the toil here, right? You can see I don't want to answer a lot of questions. This is boring. Look at each answer and try to calculate the risk, right? And the way we do this is through having a code that is capable of looking at the answers and give you a scorecard, right? A risk level, if possible, but some details about this is risk level through number of points or number of um, risks that you have per area, right? Usually these will cover all those um, all those items that we didn't check on a cab, and this can be transformed into an artifact. Here I'm using forms. So the OR questionnaire is a form, it's a Microsoft form. So the owner will go there and answer those questions. Yes, I did unit testing with the minimum percentage of 65% of coverage. And this filled out form will provide you OR questionnaire in an Excel format, right? And then you can put it inside the Azure DevOps pipeline, which will evaluate this Excel and give you a scorecard on a JSON format. So this is a way to minimize or mitigate this toil. At least you don't need to analyze it. Let's imagine you have 50 questions on this questionnaire, and imagine spending 5 minutes per question, analyze each question answer. So you don't want to go there. So and that is very, very possible. Let me show you. So the way we can do as an SRE is to automate that. So here is my assessor. This is a Node.js code, right? And basically, it tries to get that Excel and provide you a scorecard. So, and if I check the Excel here, hopefully I can open one for you. Yeah, so this one here. So you can see this is, of course, a done OR questionnaire. And you can see I have Acme as the company, and you have fictional characters and myself. We have those applications, those are the versions. And you can see for each question here, I can put concluded, pending, or not applicable, right? This is how we create this OR questionnaire. There are various models, various skills that you can use, but this one is good. Three possible answers, right? Completed or concluded, pending, and not applicable. It is in Portuguese. I didn't translate it yet, but I think it's easy to understand. This can be English, right? And this is the Excel, right? From a Microsoft form. You see I have 3 respondees, and then I want to evaluate this Excel. So here is just, I think I have this, yeah, I have the command here. So what I want to do is to do this programmatically. So I don't need to imagine that I open this and analyze it, answer. This will take a lot of time, right? So I don't want to do that, right? But instead, I'm going to give each question a weight, a certain number of points, and then I'm going to calculate the overall risk level or scorecard, okay? So you can see I have 3 different applications. So this one is from me. This is the Solar application. I have 64 questions on these or questionnaire. I have answered 32 in a positive way, saying, yes, I did that. I completed. I followed the standard, right? 22 questions not applicable for this application, and 10 questions that I say, oh, this is pending. I still need to work on those. And based on these, my overall score is 218 points. The completeness is 84%, meaning there are 10 questions pending. And this is a very low risk level. Okay. let's deploy it, right? I don't have a problem because you have most of the questions answered as a positive answer. Okay, so but on this another example, this is the resistance application. There are 56 answers that are pending. And then I'm saying this is risk level 6. This is unacceptable. We will not deploy this on production unless we have executive approval. Okay. Another example here, most of questions are not applicable. This is probably a very small bug fix. This is a low. Let's deploy because this is a bug fix. I don't want to spend cycles here because this is a very low risk, not very low, but low risk. So I don't want to invest time here. So yes, this is how we mitigate toil, right? You don't want to create more toil than necessary. And guess what? Now we can incorporate error button. So besides the risk level, which is given by the ORR practice, you also have the error button. And if you don't remember, error button is the difference between 100% and the SLO set. So if your availability is 95%, then your error button is 5%. So you have 5% as your error button for the month, and that can be translated in minutes. So we use error button as a throttler, saying if you have an error button, even though the risk is medium, I can go ahead because I still have error button. I still have minutes that will not compromise my SLO, right? So if my target is 95%, I still have 5%. If I didn't have any incident or outage, I still have 5% of the month as a error budget, and then I can use for that. So the risk is medium, but do I have error budget? If my error budget is 0, then no, we don't have, because if something goes wrong, then our SLO will be compromised. I won't be able to fulfill the SLO target for this month. Okay, so that's very important because we use error button here as a throttler for new deployments, new features deployment. And this is how you combine ORR with error button. Of course, this comes from observability, right? You need to have observability in place. You need to have SLO monitored inside the observability platform, and you also have the error button being calculated on the fly, right? It's not something you want to calculate by using a spreadsheet. So this is the Band-Aid solution. What is the drawback here? It doesn't scale, right? Imagine that you have 100 applications, I don't know, 200 CI/CD pipelines. Imagine how many questionnaires you need to answer. So this is a temporary solution. It's a good solution to start with because now you can mature this interface, this contract and agreement between DevOps and SRE. But of course, this is not scalable, right? You need to do this as a pilot on a small set of applications just to learn and improve your interface and contract and ground rules, right? This is how you use the solution. So what is the excellent solution, the elegant solution here? And this is, of course, related to performing, is when I have effectiveness and efficiency and can continuously improve these. So this is when I have the breed restored, right? Or breed built between dev and ops. Of course, we are going to still have lightnings and storms, but at least we can traverse the cliff here, right? And this is the recommended solution, right? So when you have your CI/CD pipelines, basically you're going to build artifacts, right? You're going to build compiled code or packages or binaries, artifacts in general, and those artifacts will have metadata because during the test, automate test here, everything is automated. You can grab those results, right? What was the unit testing result and coverage? This is metadata, and you can include that on your package, right? During the build, was there any compilation error? I don't know. If there was, then but as metadata inside of the package. Usually, the DevOps team already does that, right? All those metadata, those manifests are included in the package, your application package, and they have the results of the building and testing phases, right? So you can use that metadata to evaluate the risk. And you can create a new pipeline here, similar to CI/CD pipeline, but this, of course, it's not a CI/CD pipeline, but use the same technology, like Azure DevOps pipeline. But this one will be operational readiness review stage pipeline, and this will grab the metadata, look at this metadata, and evaluate the risk. Okay, so now I have the risk, and I can feedback the risk level to your continuous deployment pipeline. So this can be a global variable that is set, and the deployment now can decide either go ahead or stop. If the risk is high level risk, then maybe the instruction here is stop. Let's review. If it's low risk, then continue. Yeah, deploy on pre-production. And guess what? We are doing this on pre-production first. Why? Because there is something here we do here. It's very important, which is the load testing. I need to know if what are the capacity planning requirements for this new application or new package. And on production, it's very similar. I get to know the pre-prod load testing results, but on the OR prod. And also, I grab the error, but it's measured on the observability platform and adjust the risk. And now I have a production decision, either to go ahead and deploy on production or no, stop, let's review. And just to understand, this is a metadata, right? For example, this is a unit test result, right? So this is, of course, dummy, but I had 100 lines of code, 80% was covered by the unit test, and the target is 75, so I'm okay. The load test was using the key 6 tool, 64 blocks passed, 50 is the minimum, so I'm okay. So yeah, if this is the metadata, then go ahead and deploy in production. The risk is low. Okay, then this is the recommended solution, right? And how we harmonize, let me check the time. Yeah, we still have time. Harmonize KPIs and goals, right? So here we have the dollar metrics or the dollar KPIs. So this is how DevOps teams are measured by. So deployment frequency, lead time for changes, time to restore services, and change failure rate. And you can put the two personas here, DevOps engineer and SRE, and you make for deployment frequency, DevOps engineer accountable, but SRE is also responsible. So SREs need to streamline the ORR process so it's fully or semi-automated, so we don't impact the deployment frequency. And we are going to have shared goals here. So now we are on the same boat, and we have more chances to become a team, work together, right, as a single team. Lead time for change, of course, this is more DevOps, who is accountable, and SRE should be informed, right? What's the lead time for change? So they cannot help too much here, but they should be informed what's happening on the other side. But for time to restore service, this is equivalent to mean time to repair. And here, the DevOps engineer is accountable, responsible for SRE, and they have shared goals. And change failure rate, same, right? They're accountable, here is responsible, and they have shared goal. And the same, we do the same for the operation side, right? Mean time to detect is related to observability. DevOps engineers are informed, and SREs are accountable. Mean time to repair, this time we're SREs are accountable, but DevOps engineers are responsible, because if you have a bug, this will, of course, influence the mean time to repair and the time to restore, right? So we have shared goals here. Mean time between failures, so accountable, responsible, shared goals, and service levels, we have shared goals as well. Of course, SRE is accountable. So this is a way to harmonizing KPIs and goals between DevOps engineer and site reliability engineer. Okay, where you can find more information, right? First of all, SRE books, they're free, they're available, right? Everything we're talking here is somehow written on those books. Like I said, I'm the creator of the SRE Manifesto. So if you want to see a cool site where we are keeping all the good information about SRE, this is the place. If you want to learn more about SRE, go to the SRE.com. There are plenty of conferences where you can watch for free. You don't need to attend the conference. You can watch the recorded sessions here. And the same is true for SRE Day. So those are the two prominent conferences on SRE Dean. Okay, so let me pause here for questions. And I probably should check the chat here as well. And let's see. Okay, so we have a question. Could you elaborate on how the OR stage pipeline runs in parallel without introducing delays to main CI/CD flow, especially in high velocity environment? That's a very good question. So that's the reason you need to put this as a parallel pipeline. So this is a totally different pipeline. Maybe you run these on different runners, okay? I would definitely recommend these to not use the CD pipeline runners, use different runners, pool, and you see they can start together, right? The package that was built by the CI pipeline can be used for both, going through here and going through here. And this one is lighter than this one. Okay, so here we have a very complex logic and many operations going on. Here is just I'm going to read those metadata and tell you the risk is high, medium, or low. So these can definitely end first, and then you just set the risk level here as a global variable for this CD pipeline. Okay. So it should be simple enough to run those in parallel, because this one is lightweight, right? And most likely the risk level will be set before you go to this stage here. Okay. Let me go to the chat again. What decision frame or what ways can adaptive SLIs improve trade-offs between innovation, speed, and operational stability? So I didn't cover these here, but you're talking about adaptive SLIs, right? So I imagine that you're talking about when we don't have a threshold, a fixed threshold, but we measure, something that can change over time, right? It has a behavior. It is possible to do this trade-off, but one possible slide that I would definitely use for ORR is the saturation code signal, right? And this is not easy because actually it's tricky how you define saturation. Saturation is not just if your CPU or your vCPUs are at 95% or plus, but saturation is tricky to define because it depends on different resource of your platform. So CPU, memory, number of threads, right? But if you are able to create a saturation SLI, then definitely would be a good SLO based on this SLI for ORR. Right? Hope that makes sense. Next one here is what decision frameworks can balance the short-term reliability and with long-term innovation compounding effects. I'm not sure if I got your question. This is more related to business strategy, right? Yeah, so I understand that you're talking about business strategy, right? So what decision frameworks can balance these, right? And again, our goal is always to this truth, right? This very truth, ground truth here. Okay, so if you recognize the correlation of stability and new features is like this, right? Those new features need to carry value, right? Here, I'm assuming those new features carry a certain business value for the company, right? Otherwise, it's not good to risk, the stability of the system because I'm just, coding because I want to code, not provide no value to my end user. So one way to balance this is ensure, and this is more about DevOps, right, than SRE, ensure those new features, they carry value to the end user. If they are not new feature, maybe they are bug fixes, is there any value for the end user? If no, they will provide a better performance user experience to the end user. So we have value, right? So value, business value would be a framework there for this decision. Hopefully I have answered your question. Let me know if I didn't. How can an organization model the economic cost of reliability erosion against product feature-driven revenue growth, right? Yeah, so this is observability 2.0, right? So let me go, yeah. This question is about, right, if my reliability is eroding, is decreasing, my operational cost is increasing, how I balance this with the revenue, right? Because if I don't innovate, this will be a loss, right? Because my competitor will do that. So this is observability 2.0. Actually, many companies are monitoring those two dimensions as well as part of the monitoring. So I'm selling more per hour or not, which is the best day to make sales. is my operational cost. This is about FinOps, right? Nowadays, FinOps become something you need to monitor and put inside observability. How much I'm expanding with my cloud providers, and this is translated to operational cost. So this dimension here has multiple branches. One of them is FinOps. So yes, this observability 2.0 is include those dimensions in your monitoring system. So you know what's happening on the fly. Very good questions, folks. What else?
I think you have covered all the questions, Rod. Thank you very much. I can see one question that we've got from the live platform. The question that we have got from Ritika, asking, in your experience, which small but impactful changes can teams implement immediately to improve system resilience during active feature development?
So let me rephrase that. So the question is if we can have a small change that provoke good improvements on resiliency and availability and reliability, something like that.
Yeah, it's like how immediately to improve system resilience during active feature development.
Yeah, I think
Should I
this
read
is
it again?
tricky. Yeah.
So, in
Sorry.
your experience, which should I read the question again?
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't get it.
Okay, sure, sure. So, in your experience, which small but impactful changes can teams implement immediately to improve system resilience during active feature development?
Yeah. For me, there's only one possible answer for this question. The first thing you need to have in place is observability, right? If you don't know what's happening inside your system, inside each component, then you don't know nothing, right? You're flying on a blind spot and don't have a way to measure what is the next step, right? So observability is something you need to invest, ensure you have covered all the layers of your application, right? Not just infrastructure, but also the business logic, the main components of the microservices, the main components of your application, and even the user, right? You need to monitor the browser level, the mobile app. You need to know which button the user is clicking when they are doing a certain operation. So if you have this information, then you can decide where to invest to be more resilient or to have better performance. But without observability, it's hard to tell you where to invest. If it's not a definite answer, but in my opinion, SRE as a whole, relies on observability and automation, right? Those would be the two components that I would start with, right? Eliminate your toil or mitigate your toil because this can hinder any scalability, and invest on observability so you have a way to tell the teams what to do next, right? And if you implement the blameless postmortem, you're going to know where to invest as well, right? Because you're going to uncover the root causes and the contributing factors, and now you can put together a corrective plan, improvement plan, even a preventive plan, right? So SRE is about going from reactive to preventive to predictive. And of course, you can use everything I said here, you can put a machine learning model to make the decisions, right? It's how we are moving towards nowadays is to use more machine learning and even generative AI. So that's how I would answer that. I think we have
Great.
one
Thank
more
you very much, Rod.
question.
Yeah, we can take that question as the last question. So, should I read it?
I can read more or less.
Okay, okay.
How can IR budgets be dynamically adjusted multi-source federated SRE models without undermining autonomy? This is a very good question, right? So everybody's first of all, you don't set the error budget. The error budget is the difference between 100% and the SLO. You work on the SLO target, right? So your SLO can be 95%, 99.9%, or 6 nines, right? And the error budget will be the difference between 100% and the set SLO. So you need to work on the SLO level, and this is something you need to agree with the business area, right? Because for instance, the latency, right? Maybe 1 second is not a big delay for a user, but your business area can say, well, one second means my user will drop from my application and go to the competitor's application. So 1 second is not a good target. We need to be much more efficient than maybe 100 milliseconds. So you need to talk with your business area. If you are working on a multi-tenancy with different companies, then each company will have different sets of SLOs, and you need to have an observability platform that's prepared for that, right? To use for the same signal, different SLO targets. But that's it. Once the SLO target is set, then you follow to the heart. You can review the target. Maybe the target is set to 95%, and then the business are okay, we need to improve on this. I'm losing users, then let's put on 96%, and let's do everything possible to get into 96%. Another thing that you need to be careful with error budgets is to consider all the known errors, right? If you know a known error, this cannot be part of your error budget. Let's say you have a bug, and this bug is well documented. You have a workaround that bug, and that bug cannot be part of the error budget. It needs to be excluded because it is an accepted risk. It's an accepted no error, then it's not part of your error budget. And there is a techniques to recalculate the error budget based on those no errors and accepted risks. Okay, I hope that answers your question.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Rod, for answering all the questions that we have received so far in the chat box. So before I move forward, would love to hear final thoughts from you for all the participants today.
Yeah, I hope you have a better sense now that we SRE and DevOps should work together. They are actually best friends forever. But of course, you need to have something to create a ground rule interface in the contract, right? And I have given you some options here.
Thank you so much, Rod, for amazing session and for covering all the questions again. And I hope that really helped our participants. So yes, as I made some announcement in the chat box that we do have some news for all of you. Let me share my screen. Great. I hope my screen is visible to you all. So this is regarding the certification on today's featured session that we had, elevating DevOps, DevSecOps, and SRE. So you can opt out for the certification, that is Certified Site Reliability Engineering Foundation, Certified DevOps Foundation, Certified DevOps Practitioner, and Certified DevOps Foundation. So we do have this certification. You can opt out for any of this, and also you all know that these certifications are lifetime validated related certification which comes along with the learning resources, where you'll be getting a lot of learning flexibility, also lifelong learning, and you'll be getting chance to connect with our training partner channel. And guess what? You'll be having an opportunity to work on the capstone project, that is real-time AI simulation practice. So do grab this opportunity as we are providing amazing discount. You can use this promo code, which is DevOps20 to get a discount on this. You'll find the link in the chat box. I've already shared it. Also, would love to introduce a new concept that GSDC has come up with earlier, utility tool. So with this tool, what you can do, you can improve your LinkedIn score, your LinkedIn profile score. Also, you'll able to build your personal brand, and it will help you to build your skills as well. So do grab this opportunity. You can use this August 100 to get 100% off, and this is only for our webinar attendees. So do grab this opportunity. And would love to inform you all that tomorrow we'll be having session of this incredible speaker. Another speaker will be presenting the topic that is driving reliability and scalability with SRE best practices. This is happening, that is tomorrow, 10th September 2025, with the same time slot, that is 8:30 a.m. CST. So please do join us. Also, we are running up this AI tool challenge for 28 days. Out of that, we have already done with the 15 days challenges. So we do have this incredible panel of AI expert aligned for this AI tool challenge, where they'll be giving you all a live demo session with practical walkthroughs. So please do join us, as this is started from 18th August, and which will be happening with the remaining challenges. So please do join us for the remaining sessions. Also, do refer your friends and colleagues to our webinars, and by doing that, you can earn rewards that is worth $400. And remember one thing, referring people to our session, to knowledgeable sessions, you're already taking a step ahead and becoming a thoughtful leader. And by doing that, you can enhance your credibility. Also, top 3 winners will be featured on the GSDC Wall of Fame. So we do have these 3 winners, and I would love to congratulate to them, as they have referred maximum people to our this session specifically, and we'll be definitely getting back to them for the rewards. However, we'll be announcing all the winners at the end of this webinar series, so you still have a time to be a winner. So please do refer maximum people. Also, if you want to be a speaker for our upcoming events as a featured global speaker, we do have platforms like Learning Capsules, Webinar, and the podcast. So you can reach out to us for the more information. Also, we would love to connect with you all over the social media platform. You can scan this QR to get in touch with over the LinkedIn. Also, you can check our website, that is www.gsdcouncil.org, to check all the offerings that GSDC has for all of you. And you can connect with us over the WhatsApp group to get daily update on the events and the webinars that we do have. And at last, do not forget to share your session takeaway on the Trustpilot. I have already shared the link in the chat box, so please do share your session takeaways. And thank you very much for joining for today's session. I hope to see you all for the upcoming sessions as well. We'll be having our next AI tool challenge session in next 30 minutes, so please do join us. And until then, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you very much, Rod. I'll see you again. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.